Today we'll be taking a look at Lange's 2022 novelties from Watches and Wonders. This hands-on review comes courtesy of the Lange Singapore team, who very generously let me video the watches ahead of the official launch. I'll be focused on sharing my thoughts on the launch, so please check out their website for any technical details I miss. Lange released a total of 3 novelties, or 4 depending on how you view it, at Watches and Wonders 2022. These include a pair of updated Grand Lange ones in a handsome grey dial, a limited edition titanium Odysseus, and a limited edition Minute Repeater. Let's start with a Grand Lange one. The main update to this model is a reduction in thickness from 8.8mm to 8.2mm, achieved via making various elements such as the hands and date window thinner. This refreshed model sports a grey dial that has a frosty sort of finish. To be clear, other Lange 1 dial colors like the silver also have a similar grainy effect under bright lighting, but it's much more pronounced here. In my mind, this release follows on from the Lange 1 Perpetuals last year, one of which came in the pink-gold grey dial combination. I'm a huge fan of Lange's grey dials, so it naturally follows that I like this release too. My pick out of the two would be the white gold, since I think it complements the grey dial better for a stealthy, unassuming look. It's also the more versatile watch out of the two. I hope that Lange decides to add this dial color to the regular Lange one, as I ultimately prefer the classic dimensions. Moving on to the most controversial out of the bunch, we have the limited edition Lange Odysseus in titanium. The Lange Odysseus has always been a polarizing watch, with some being a big fan and others seeing it as ugly. While I didn't like the looks initially, I've become quite a fan of the watch. The various finishings on the dial, high quality bracelet, and strong traces of Lange DNA have made this controversial watch something I love. This year's model comes in titanium, a material new to Lange. It trims 43% of the weight from the steel model and is distinguished via the grey hue to the watch. When I first saw this release, I was pretty unimpressed, but getting some hands-on time with it, I have to say this may be my favorite release from Watches and Wonders this year. The titanium works wonders here. It makes the watch light and extremely wearable while letting you keep the beautifully finished and ergonomic bracelet. In my opinion, this bracelet looks much better than the steel too, since it offers more contrast between the grey matte finish and beautifully polished sections. I was lucky to attend a Q&A session with Wilhelm Schmidt and Anthony de Haas, and asked what inspired the use of titanium. According to Anthony, he's always been interested in titanium since IWC first used it, and knew from the beginning that the Odysseus had to be released in the material. Once Lange figured out how to polish titanium, it was only a matter of time. On whether Lange will release any more watches in titanium is naturally a secret, but Schmidt took the liberty to add that we will never see a Lange 1 in titanium. Returning to the Odysseus, its dial color is described as ice blue. However, I think it's more accurate to call it grey, as only under very specific lighting conditions does it show a slight tinge of blue. I'm honestly a bit lukewarm on the dial color, and would ultimately pick the dark blue dial on the steel model if forced to choose. So to summarize, the new Odysseus is a good-looking, highly wearable watch that is better than its predecessors. That makes it even more sad that I won't be able to get one. From my understanding, the limited edition watch will be exclusively distributed to long-standing boutique customers as a way of thanks. In the Q&A session, Schmidt also adds that the reason this is a limited edition is because the brand already has a long waiting list for the steel and white gold Odysseus. Adding another regular production model in a new material was apparently not viable from a production standpoint. Saving the most technically brilliant until last, let's move on to the Richard Lange Minute Repeater. I've unfortunately not had the pleasure to handle this in person, so I'll be basing my review on photos and videos. I think that while this piece has largely gone under the radar at Watches and Wonders, it is in fact really brilliant. The watch is quintessentially Lange in how understated it is. From a distance, it really could be anything. Dimensions are classic and great, weighing in at 39mm in diameter and a stunning 9.7mm in thickness. Despite the minute repeater complication being relatively new to Lange, I also think they've done a great job with the chime. Listen for yourself. On the whole, I think that Lange has done a great job at Watches and Wonders this year. Yet, I was personally more excited about the 2021 launch due to the Lange 1 Perpetual and amazing little Lange 1. The brand typically releases a lot throughout the year though, so I look forward to what else they may have in store. My personal guess would be a return of the Cabaret, which celebrates its 25th anniversary this year. Thank you for watching, and thanks again to the Lange team for letting me film the novelties. I'm excited to share that I'll also be filming the Vacheron novelties when they arrive in Singapore, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on that.